welcome to the Peculiar Space.
Before I begin this show, this does have some brutally honest elements. We're not lewd in this show. If you're not into stuff that's brutally honest, I know we live in a world of lies. I'm just letting you know. If you're not used to stuff that's refreshingly honest, you know what to do with something you don't like. Tune out. You are now tuned into part 2 of the testimony, the rejection segment. Let's begin. When I was in kindergarten, I experienced my first experience of rejection. A bunch of kids had toys, and one of the kids, I don't know what it was. When I walked behind them, they smelled like a nasty fart mixed with poop. I did not know. It was a very unpleasant smell walking behind one of them kids. And I remember it was like free time or something. We was done tracing some lines, and yes, my lines was looking like a person was sneezing when they were writing. And when I went to pick up this kid, the toy that the child was playing with, the kid told me to put that toy down. I was playing with that toy, and he wanted to share that toy with somebody else, and I wanted to share the toy with him, and he did not want to share with me, and that kind of bothered me, man. That kind of hurt. That pain went from my eyes to my chest to my stomach. That hurt. I was like, dang, that kind of hurt. And then that would happen to me constantly. Then I started acting out like, dang, man, like these people don't like me. That kind of hurt. And then as I got older, I went to grade school. I was the special kid. That's right. I was that short bus boy. All the other children were sitting still, goo-goo gaga-ing. I was the one, smiling, and I had an underbite, and I was bald, and, I would bang my head against the wall and play with my ears, and, other kids thought it was something wrong with me. The teachers thought it was something wrong with me. And I come to develop a little later, and in grade school, I started getting into fist fights, trying to fit in with cliques. To get a little background on my culture, I am Black American. And if you know anything about Black American culture, there are a lot of profound things in that culture, along with some profane things, as every culture has. Profane and profound things. There were class cliques, and there was this obsession with wanting to be this person who is identified by their sexual performance and ability to fight. You know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, man, I can lay it down, I can flip it and spin it, and yeah. And then if anybody tried to disrespect me, oh, I'm that boy. I'm that boy. I'm going to prove to myself I'm that boy. Catch these hands. You better catch these hands. It was this obsession of being a clicked involved dude that knew how to fight and have sex with girls really good. And around this age of 9 or 10, I really tried to win over the girls. I could not get a girlfriend for horse crap. I don't know what it was. It was so hard, and I was trying. I was keeping my teeth brushed, my hair cut, my glasses wiped and clean, my clothes ironed. We had uniforms. I tried, and it was just not working. I was getting my ears pierced. I was brushing my hair to get waves. I was trying, and it was just not working. Them ladies were not feeling me. My fiance once said that girls have their counterparts. Good girls have their counterparts, and bad girls have their counterparts. I've confronted her with that question. I said, why is it that these beautiful women go for the bad guys? She said, maybe because they are bad girls. Because bad girls have their counterparts and good girls have their counterparts. It's a good point. Now, not to sidetrack, not knowing who I was the main issue within these first few years of me existing. And let me explain. When you don't know who you are, here are the pros. You may fit in with other people that don't know who the heck they are either. Like, the crowd, we kind of just go by what is popular, and we just stick to what is popular. I don't think the average person really wants to be squared out unless they are a contrarian or something. Because nowadays, now we're in 2024 talking, there's this trend of being different. There's this trend of being spiritual, all these different trends. And yes, these are different trends, but these are still things people want to be a part of. To go back to not knowing who I was, it was just kind of easy for me to just navigate and blend in and not stand out or have an objective, independent thought, because it works. You just go with the status quo and blend in. But here's the real cons. The problem with that, I don't get into my purpose. I don't find out who I am. And over time, once I started finding out who I was, oh man, things started falling into place. When I found out that I was not that boy, I'm not that street boy, I am a sidewalk dude, I am a square, I am different. That hit differently. And let me tell you this, I know the media, there's a fight for black representation, and I want to lay this out there. You do not need to be sexually perverted to be different. You do not need to be sexually perverted to be different. I know the whole alphabet LGBTQRSTUV. Look, that is not the only thing that makes a person different. That is not. That becomes a monolith too. So yes, not knowing who I was really contributed to a lot of negative behaviors, just due to the fact I know who I was. I tried to conform to be these other things, and I was not. And when you don't know who you are, it's easy for anybody to say anything about you. Oh, you dress like this, you belong to that. Oh, you speak like this, you belong to that. But then when you know who you are, yeah, I do speak like that, and it happens to tie to that group, but I'm myself. And I tell people, I'm Buffalo native. I talk like myself. I may not sound like where I come from, but I talk like myself. I tell you, when God made me different, I learned to accept that. I've learned to accept that. I have a unique swag, a unique flavor, a unique taste, a unique way of speaking, a unique way of executing things. I don't try to be different. This is just a part of who I am. And I want people to hear that and know that you can accept your uniqueness. Now, do not accept sin and perversion, which that will be left to a separate conversation. Now let's go to the Bible. When you look at Moses was different. He was a stuttering man. Aaron was unique and different than Moses. They were not alike, and they did not have the same purpose. Aaron was not doing what Moses was doing. He was not. He was not opening the waters. He was not doing the miraculous signs. He was doing signs with Moses, but he was doing his own thing. And then later, Aaron had a couple sons, and his children were doing their unique purposes. Of course, they had error down in the line, which would be left to a separate discussion. When you look at Samson, he had a unique calling on his life, even though he kind of fondled it and destroyed it. But then redemption happened a little later down the line. When you look at the kings in the Bible, this king operated different than this other king. You had kings that fulfilled what God called them to be, and you had those that didn't. You get what I'm saying? You get my point, right? God made us different, and in the modern world, you see people are looking for things that are different. You have those that like that stuff and looking forward towards it, and then you have those that don't like it. They don't want it. They want things that remind them of stuff that they are familiar with. And I've seen some stuff in that underground world. I've seen a lot of different stuff, and I tell you, objectively, some of that stuff is weird. I thought I was a weird person. I'm realizing, nah, there are some things that are just objectively strange. And I know that people will say that some things are an opinion. There are some things that are objectively strange. At the end of the day, it's all about being who God called you to be. And I can go on and on about my scars of being rejected and being different in society and being rejected by my own society. But this will become a trauma bonding show. It is not sexy to constantly wear your past trauma on your shoulders and project that hurt on others. I'm telling you from firsthand experience, it is fulfilling and rewarding to be healed. The fact that you had people that tried to tear you down, crash you, run you over, drag you, and then you walk on the other side untouched, unaffected. It's like, wow. And I can operate in the present now and keep things moving. I'm not slowed down. I'm not in the drag race where my car battery is down and I'm making it look sexy because the car is not functioning, and now I'm justifying a dysfunctional car that's not moving forward. That's what unforgiveness can be like. That's what not being healed from the past can be like. The unforgiveness thing can be very touchy. I will not touch that yet. But not being healed from your past is like what I mentioned earlier about the car running with the bad battery and you trying to make it look sexy. The other cars are like ahead of you. You might be hating on them cars. The fact that they've learned to replace those old parts with new functioning parts that will take them further. In conclusion, y'all, it took me some time to find out who the heck I was in God. And I'm 26 right now. I felt like I didn't start getting my brain fully developed until I was 25. Shoot, probably a few months ago. It took me some time, man. I was the type to finally learn stuff. I didn't know some things that everybody knew. But I'm here now to tell you that I've made it out these things, man. I've made it out of rejection and wanting to not be alive to see the next day, not knowing what I want to be, not knowing what I want to do, dealing with that painful college pressure. So stay in tune for Testimony Part 3, where I tell you how I was truly, truly blood bought and saved for real and navigating life challenges. As cliche as that title sounds, it's a lot of deep. That's going to really touch your soul. That's going to touch your soul.